Well, hello, and thank you for joining me here in beautiful Anacortes, Washington, at one of my favorite places, Washington Park. We are going to do an FSD test on the 2-mile loop road that we have here in Anacortes. It's a scenic road. It's one lane, very narrow, very winding, and has all kinds of pedestrian traffic. This is the first time I've tried FSD on it, and I thought it'd be interesting to see how the occupancy network works. So we'll take Amos for a ride and see how he does handling the loop road on the beautiful island of Anacortes. All right, well, hey, thank you so much for joining me on this FSDbeta test ride. So we are testing the latest version of FSDbeta. We're testing 10.69.2.3, I think is right. I'll get it in the title correct. But I am on the latest version, and the occupancy network is really incredible. And I wanted to show it to you in different ways. So I did a quick first impression drive, which you can find from last week in my playlists. And I wanted to get another drive in where we try and see how the car does in some confined areas with weird labeling. So that's where I thought this would work perfect. You can see on the screen the loop road. It's a 2-mile loop, and we're going to get the car down engaged so it can start, and then let FSD take over and see how it does. As you can see, it's already indicating that it's ready for FSD to drive. My little driving steering wheel went away, and I am engaging FSD. I'm lowering my speed limit to 10 miles an hour, which is the legal speed limit. And we're going to see how the car manages this very narrow, unmarked, scenic loop with pedestrians. So again, the car is in full control, and we are going to wait for them to go by. It's creeping by. Very good, and you can see them on the screen. So we will approach the stop sign, and this is where we will officially begin our test. We can see the car has already spotted the ability for us to go up into the campground, but the ego is going to proceed forward, which is what we want. And again, we're going to go at a nice sedate 10 miles an hour to make sure that we don't break any rules. Hopefully this isn't terribly boring, but I thought it would be interesting to see how the car reacts. And again, it is fully driving itself through here. And this is a more simple portion of the road. But as we approach further along, it obviously becomes more complex. So approaching up here on the left, we have a van, which the car sees immediately, but we also have a big stump. And as the car did fine, didn't show up as an occupancy or an unlabeled blob, so that's interesting. I wish I could share the views with you as well as the drive, but you'll just have to enjoy the drive. You may get to see some stuff as we pop through. Okay, car slowed down a little bit there. And we're approaching a speed bump. Didn't want to slow down for that, but that's okay. All right, now it's, oh, very good. It was going to go off the road just a little bit, but it corrected. And we got some pedestrians here on our right, and the car is doing a good job of safely navigating around them. Oh. And there we had a quick change in the speed. Slow her down, car, slow her down. So we want to keep an eye on that, make sure we don't get any quick adjustments. Good, car sees them. Now we're going to come around a tight corner here. Car thinks that there might be a van hanging out into the road, but that's not the case. Good, good. All right, excellent. We made it around that sharp corner. Okay, we'll proceed up here. We're going to be approaching an incredibly tight turn. There's a couple of them in here, and again, very narrow. I thought maybe the occupancy network would have a little more to show you, so I'm apologizing for that. I guess it's not as interesting as I had hoped it was going to be. But again, we're seeing how the car manages an unmarked, narrow, pedestrian-filled scenic drive. And it's given them space. Okay, very good. If you make it to the San Juan Islands and you're in Anacortes, this is a must-do as far as scenic drives go. Again, it's the Loop Road, and it's out here at Washington Park, which is a city park. And it is just amazing how beautiful this park is. There's camping. You can watch the ferries come and go. There's also public boat launch. I like to come down here on the weekends and just watch people launch their boats. I just think that's interesting as all get out. So, beautiful drive. So far, so good. Occupancy network hasn't been showing anything so super cool. But again, the car has been managing this drive all on its own. And you know, not every drive's going to be super exciting. I have to tell myself that. I don't know until I do it. And I like to bring you guys along for the first impression. So, yeah. So we got a motorcycle up here on the right. The car is slowing down. It's not quite sure. Okay. All right. It figured out there was nobody on that motorcycle. Good. Now we've got a very tight corner here. And the car is figuring out that car's not going anywhere. Good. Let's see how it manages this tight corner. Okay, we've just stopped. I'm going to nudge it. I'm nudging it just a little bit. Again, the car is steering. I'm just barely nudging the gas. Just barely nudging the gas pedal. And Amos is driving again. Amos took back over. So that was hard for him. He did not like that blind, sharp corner. But that's okay. That's how we learn here. So again, weirdly slowing down for no reason. I'm thinking it may have something to do with the shadows and the elevation and corner change. This is a bit of a weird view for the car. We're going uphill around a corner with shadowing. So, okay, it puzzled it out. Very good. Now we have another very, very sharp corner up here. And as you can see, the car's kind of lost sight of what's happening. So it's creeping up slowly to see. And that's still the car. I'm not touching the gas. And it's creeping up here, trying to see around the corner. And it's looking. And it's proceeding, and now it's just nudging itself. I'm not touching the gas. I am not touching the gas. It's nudging itself around. Oh boy, this is tight. Yes, Amos, very good. It must have learned from my previous corner and took that into account, because it did it. It nudged its way around. Awesome job. Okay, again, weird elevation with corners, so it's a bit hard for it to see, but it's trying its best. I'm hoping to get up to 150 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you're a new viewer and you're enjoying this content, please hit that like and subscribe. I really plan on bringing you much more. Okay, now the car's confused. I've got a van behind me now, so we may not be able to have quite as much of a slow... Oh, very good. Come on, car. You got this. You got it. You got it. All right, we made it. It was going to edge off the corner just a little bit, but it did it. Like I said, unfortunately, I've got a van behind me now, so we may not be able to give it quite as much leeway. But yeah, I'd love it if you'd hit that like and subscribe. Going to be doing some more FSD testing, obviously. The latest version, 10.69.2.3, is supposed to be coming out real soon. I think this week. And so as soon as that drops, obviously I'll be putting out some videos for that as well. So Hit that like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. There is plenty of awesome people out there doing FSD testing. Dirty Tesla, Black Tesla, Bearded Tesla guy. Yeah, just tons of people. But I also think that it's important to get perspectives from different geographies, right? Hull's Mar catalog does a great job, and his car operates awesome, but San Francisco's like its native territory. Dirty Tesla there is up in Michigan area, and so he's got more dirt roads and snow. And then a lot of the other testers are in Florida and California. So up here in the Pacific Northwest, we get to see things a little bit different. And that's what I hope to bring you. Car's been doing this very well. The only real issues it was having was earlier with the narrow portions and the blind corners. But now we're creeping through here at a nice pace. Pinching the brakes, a little bit of a blind corner. Car can't see what's going on, so it's slowed down to be cautious. I think that's fair. And we're at the 1 3/8 mark, so we are just about through. And the car's slowing down here. Can't quite see what it wants to do. Oh, very nicely done, Amos. Very nicely done. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to complain about that. The people behind me might complain a little bit because I'm not going real fast, but the speed limit is 10 miles an hour through here. All right, again, it's a little bit dark, and I think the car is having a hard time seeing. So it wants to be cautious, and we're looking for animals too. We've got a pedestrian up here. We can see it clearly show up. Amos has no interest in hitting anybody on the road. And that's obvious by how cautious it's being. Right, we're approaching another pedestrian. We'll see how he manages. I should be doing some downtown Bellingham drives here hopefully soon. So be on the lookout for that. Downtown Bellingham is, in some respects, been easy for Amos, but there's also been other challenging spots. So again, like bringing you all kinds of different geographies. Now let's see what happens here. We've got people on both sides of us. Amos is trying to avoid both. Good job, Amos. Got a little close to the camera guy. Here's what this is all for. You come out here on this drive, folks, the view from this point is just spectacular. Just spectacular. Opens up and you can see the channel and all the points. All right, Amos got a little bit weirded out because it's a wide pull out. And so I nudged him slightly on the gas, and we're pulling back through, and we're doing good. There's also a small amphitheater here, natural amphitheater, where you can have little shows and skits and whatnot. All right, we got a bicyclist up here in front of us. We'll see how Amos manages that. So far, not as boring as I actually thought it was going to be at the beginning. The car has been doing pretty well, and I haven't intervened yet for what I consider kind of a weird drive, right? I mean, we're going through what, for all intents and purposes, is just a scenic route. And the scenic route should be ending up here shortly. We got another little blind corner. Amos is not quite so hesitant to go into it, but I am going to nudge him a little bit because I have a van behind me. And he slows down. There we go. Very good. All right, we're just about approaching the end here, folks. It's gotten a little dark. Amos is a little bit leery about what he's seeing in here. There we go. I had to nudge the gas slightly there, folks, just because, again, I've got a van behind me and they're probably wondering what I'm doing. They go on a scenic route, but then they want to be in a hurry. How does that make any sense? Oh, well. All right, we got another pedestrian. I knew we'd have lots of pedestrians. I was kind of hoping we'd have some strollers to encounter, too. But Occupancy network has seen everything as it should be. I haven't seen any unlabeled blobs. And frankly, I haven't seen anything all that exciting. I was kind of hoping we would have seen a little more, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to guess this is not going to probably be one of my rock star videos that gets 1 million hits, but hey, you never know. We're trying all different things, all different environments, and testing isn't about clicks or likes. It's about getting some data and having a good time while we're at it. So thank you so much for joining me. We're pulling out here at the stop, and I just hope I get a like and subscribe, and I will talk to you on the flip side.